Well, excited to have another opportunity to play this week. Uh, Looking forward. I think the guys are ready to go back to work and work on all the things that we need to work on to play better and hopefully get better result. Got a lot of the season left and looking forward to playing this week and getting another start.
Coach, we talked to some of the defensive players, and they said they are starting to feel more comfortable with the defense, feel like they're making progress. What are you looking for from them moving forward?
Well, I think consistency, and we got to play better. You know, it's like I've said before, we can coach better and play better, but you got to set a standard that's a high standard, and you know what we've had for the most part has not been good enough. So hopefully, I think we are getting better on defense. I think the kids are improving, and hopefully we can put it together here for the last 2/3 of the season.
How much of this week is about your team, versus getting prepared for Bowling Green? It seems like most of your struggles are kind of self-inflicted so far this season.
Well, a lot of it's been self-inflicted, but it's that way every week. I mean, you have to prepare yourself, but you got to get ready for the other team. I mean, every team's got some good players, and certainly Bowling Green does. So it's another chance to go out and play and see if we can make some progress on the way we played, and we need to do that.
Before the season started, you said it'll take like 3 or 4 games to really get a feel for what you have in this team. So it's been 4 games. So what do you think you have in this team?
Well, I think it's been a little bit of a struggle. You know, I think that for whatever reason, you know, the second game of the year was really, really disappointing to me. I think we had a great chance to win that game, even with all the mistakes we made. We fought back and were up 10 in the fourth quarter and didn't finish. We turned the ball over and then couldn't get a stop. The next road game, you give Pitt credit, we didn't play very well offensively in the first half, and we dug ourselves a hole. We gave up some big plays. You know, we had very poor execution on a fake punt that probably we shouldn't have run. Although when you watch the tape, if you know, the thing, we just didn't execute it very well. And we dug ourselves a hole and we couldn't get out. The last game we played a really good football team. And it's hard to, you know, you go back to the second game, and I look this week. It's not easy to win on the road in the league. You know, the only team that won on the road this week in the ACC in our league, Clemson. Everybody else won at home. And so you can't go and make mistakes and not play well for a half and do those kind of things and win the game. So that's what you got to correct. I'm not ready by any stretch to give up on this team. Like I said, there's 8 games left. And what we need to do is go out there and win this game and then start to build and gain some momentum and play through it.
In terms of you've been trying to get Kenny Cooper back slowly but surely. Is this, you feel like you may be in a situation where you can start to rotate him in a little bit?
Well, we want to get him back and put him in the lineup and play, but you know, he's got to stay healthy and practice. And when you don't practice, it's hard to play. So that's been a frustrating thing for Kenny. I know he wants to get out there and wants to play, and it's frustrating for us.
The pass protection in the Clemson game, was it more of Clemson's physicality, or was it technique and assignments?
Some of both. It's always some of both. All the above. And you know, if you watch them play, they get a lot of tackles for loss and a lot of negative yardage and a lot of sacks on everybody. You know, probably the 4 of those guys will be first or second rounders. There's probably 6 that'll be playing on Sunday. They're good players, and they do a good job. So if you're not exactly correct in your stuff, it also limits what you can do throwing the ball, because what we were trying to do was add an extra blocker to one side and sprint out and get away from them. And at times we turned guys loose in the gap. One guy would miss a guy or the guy'd get run through, and there you go. 5 guys can be doing it correct and one don't. And it's a negative play.
What do you think of how Brant's played this year and what Nate wants out of him?
Who?
Brant.
Brant Mitchell. I think Brant's a really tough guy. He's a good leader. You're going to get 100% out of Brant. You're going to get everything he's got. And, we're fortunate to have him on the team. I think that he helps set the tone on defense and plays really hard.
Despite the score, that was probably one of your better offensive performances against Clemson in the last few years. I imagine you had 5 probably scoring opportunities and got 21 or whatever. But I imagine there's something you can take out of that there's some potential here to get.
When we didn't kill ourselves with penalties or minus yardage plays, we had a chance to move the ball. I'm not going to sit here and say we could move it consistently on them because it wasn't up to my standards. Offensively, we had 75 or 80 yards in lost plays. Some of it was off the fumbles where they picked up or whatever. If you take those and you minimize that and you get it down to 10 or 15, which is what a normal game would be, then you probably rush for 2 something, and that's going to be more than they give up to most everybody. Now, we've got to be able to throw the ball more efficiently, but some of that that's not all on the quarterback. It's like I've said before. And that's where we're fundamentally need some work and drops and sprint outs and those kind of things. And that's stuff that we can fix, hopefully.
It seems like most of the teams in the Coastal are struggling right now. And a lot of key injuries, quarterback injuries, stuff like that.
Well, I don't know about that. I mean, you got Duke's undefeated. Now, they probably haven't played the same schedule we have. Miami's lost 1 to LSU, who's ranked. Virginia Tech's lost 1. Pitt lost to North Carolina on the road, but if that had been it, who knows? I think that there's still a chance. If what you're asking me is, do we have a chance to win the Absolutely. Absolutely. We've won the thing with a 5-3 record before. We've got Miami and Duke at home, who right now are the ones that are undefeated. You'd have to go win a couple on the road. We've got Virginia at home. They're undefeated in the league. But that's what I'm saying. There's a ton of football left. I don't have much doubt in my mind it could happen. But if we finish 6-2 in the ACC Coastal, I'd take it right now. I'd like my chances of winning at 6-2. Now, I could be wrong. Duke or Miami or Virginia may run the table. But, right now I'm not worried about that. I'm worried about beating Bowling Green. I mean, we've got to play better and win the game on Saturday, and then we'll get to that if it ever gets to it. That's way down in October or November. We're still in September. That's why, it's a little premature to give up in September.
Other than maybe the Alcorn State game on defense, both sides haven't played a full game. I imagine this is when you want to see that momentum start to build as you play this game and then get into maybe your ACC schedule.
I know what we've been offensively historically, and we're not playing that way. Defensively, we just got to get a little better, and then we'll be better than what we've been, right? So if we can get the offense playing back to the way we've normally played and continue to grow on defense, then, you got a chance. I mean, it's like, but we've got to get back. We're not playing on offense, and I say we again, and I'm talking about, okay, we played pretty good on offense at South Florida. We had 600 yards. I think we scored the most points on them that anybody scored in 4 games. All right. And, if we don't probably turn over the ball, or if we can just get a couple of stops or don't give up 2 kick returns, I mean, you can look at a million things how you could have won that game, right? All right, at Pitt, we played very poorly on offense in the first half. Not good. Second half, we scored on 3 of 5 possessions. Sometimes it wasn't pretty, but we found a way to score. Still not up to my standard, not good. The last game was a struggle. Just like, I don't know what their record is in their last 40 games. What is it, 37-3 or something? There's a lot of cats struggled against them. So it's like, don't throw the baby out with the bathwater until now if we play the next few games and we're not worth a crap, hey. But I'm willing to watch. I know what I see in practice, and I know what I see with our guys. I think we got a chance to get better and play better. And, so we'll see.
Coach, Bowling Green defense is giving up a lot of points so far this year. What do you see
Mhm.
from that defense?
They've played a lot of snaps. They play really, really fast on offense. And, they've struggled at times. I'm not going to tell you they're steel curtain, but, it's like anybody else. I mean, I was just watching the Maryland game this morning. Okay, they're ahead 14-10 at halftime. They come out in the second half and they go 100 miles an hour and make 2 first downs. You're going to give up some. That's what happens. I mean, if you're going to play fast and you don't move the ball, and now, where they move the ball and they score and they possess it, it's just like we played really good defense in the first quarter against Clemson. Had the ball twice. It's a little easier to play really good defense than if they had the ball 5 times, right? If you're going breakneck speed and you're not making first downs, or even if you're scoring fast. A couple of games they've had, they got it going offensively and they were scoring fast. When you watch the tape and teams run 100 plays, that's like playing a game and a half. And that's why I always say about stats that we should be good on defense. We don't play as many snaps. It's just common sense.